to be a lot more diverse than the EP. The EP is,
Downbeat.
I think, downbeat sort of in mood and in lyrics and in kind of, the sort of feel of the music. It's dreamy in places, but it's not really particularly happy. And in fact, it's a bit of a miserable EP, isn't it? To be perfectly honest, but we weren't worried about that. We just wanted to say this is the sound, this is what we sound like, and not be apologetic about it. It's going to take you on a journey, sort of thematically, vocally, musically. Even within songs, sometimes there's one of the songs that we've been working on that I think is going to be the penultimate song. It's called The Spark. And nobody's heard it yet. We haven't played it live, and it does go on a real journey within about 3.5, 4 minutes. And I'm very proud of it because I think it sort of says something about what we can do, in the future.
Definitely. And, there's some really beautiful songs about some really beautiful things, and there's some really catchy songs about some slightly troubling things, and there's some really downbeat songs about some beautiful things. And there's a nice mix of all of the above, really. And I think, it's proving to be quite a challenge to think about how to sequence it to get the most satisfaction out of it. We're still working on that at the moment. We're still waiting for the last couple of mixes to come in. But I think we're going to try and do it in such a way that it sort of leads you gently into the record rather than hitting you over the head with it. Because I think we were keen to make sure that the beginning of the record isn't just, here's the 3 songs we think are the singles. Yeah,
a sort of a front-loaded, 1996 indie album is just not what, it's never going to be that, Times have changed, we've all changed since then. It's like, I think the album is probably more important than it's ever been now, even if people aren't buying them. It's like, albums mean such a lot to me. I think I got bored of Shuffle on an iPod years ago and specifically went back to listening to whole albums from start to finish and being taken on that journey, and that's what I want people to have from the album.
I just want to learn how to be like you. I see you, I need you.
Because of blogging now and because of the internet the way it is, you have to explain everything before that you do. There is no, in a way, it's like there's no mystery. This is something I struggle with a lot. There's no mystery to it anymore because you're constantly expected to explain everything away immediately on the internet. And that's I think
which
that's
we have kind of just done.
In this kind of in this kind of environment, there's a point to it. I'm a very old man who can remember the 90s. And worked in the 90s. I remember when there was mystery to music and you just made a record and you put it out there, and that was the first people knew of it, was they heard the single and they heard the album, whereas now you're kind of expected to kind of explain yourself all the time,
Both you and I would have grown up in an era when there was distance, even between the smallest bands and their fans, never mind the kind of megastars and their fans. So I'm completely comfortable with engaging with our audience online. I'm quite happy to talk to people on Twitter and on Facebook, and if they have questions, and I'm happy to talk to them. But at the same time, you want to keep some distance because mystery is really important. I mean, I talk about mystery in music all the time. What I love about the quiet version of Heaven Is Here on the EP is I do think it has a sense of mystery about it. And, I bang on about my favourite records that have got a sense of mystery, like Kid A by Radiohead, or The Hissing of Summer Lawns by Joni Mitchell, which always feel to me that they have something more to them at the core that is shrouded in a substance I can't quite make my way through, and it's kind of forever shrouded and shadowed in a way that just makes me want to come back to them again and again, because they don't give up all their secrets on a first listen. And I think it's the same for us as people. It's like, me and Richard as people versus Artmagic as an entity are essentially 2 different things, and I'm prepared to let people into the world of Artmagic quite far, really. But when it comes to, my personal life, I'm only prepared to let them come so far. The only worry I have is that we'd get pigeonholed as gay man plus bloke from Suede. Which is, to be fair, I'm sure we're probably going to get a lot of, but then that's the kind of reductive thinking that people who come up with instant opinions on the internet do in order to get a cheap laugh.
And then borrow them from each other.
Exactly. Frankly, as long as people are listening, I don't care. I think that you should never, ever, ever censor yourself like that, to be honest, because I think that's just a complete artistic dead end. And if those are the songs that we have written, and this is who we are, then I think there should be absolutely nothing wrong with saying, well, this is it. And frankly, it goes back to what I said earlier about the name of the band. There is a fair measure of pretension about it, which suits me, frankly. I like the idea, because there are a million crappy bands who can do a million crappy indie landfill tracks that, you'll hear once on Six Music and then will just be forgotten forever. Even if we don't attain more than that, and I hope we do, I am definitely shooting for a lot higher than that. I don't see the point in just trying to do exactly what everybody else is doing and doing a reductive version of that. I think if we are fortunate enough as 2 creative people to come up with interesting ideas that we can make use of, then we should push them to the front and not apologise for them.